Let's see here. We are getting started here in just a second. All right, we are live on YouTube. Thank you for everyone that is joining us here tonight. We are so glad that you're here. And first of all, obviously, PJ here is not a Walt Disney World cast member, but we had some family issues, so you have to deal with one former Walt Disney World cast member tonight. But I am here to answer all of your questions, so I hopefully can do that. And PJ, he's been to Disney World tons of times, so he's got some awesome creds as well. But anyway, we shall start with a brief introduction. So my name is Sean, and I am a former Walt Disney World cast member. I used to work at the old Walt Disney World Disney MGM Studios on the Disney MGM Studios Backlot Tour, which unfortunately is no longer in existence. I've been to the park hundreds of times. I've been to Disneyland, Disney World. PJ, you've been tons of times.
I've never been to Disneyland. But
no, we're hoping to take you to Disneyland soon, though. That's quite a hike, though, for us here on the East Coast. But my wife, who's unfortunately not able to join us right now, she used to be a cast member in the Magic Kingdom at the Emporium. She also did some crowd control. I was lucky enough when I did the Backlot Tour. I was actually on the shuttles team, which meant that I did the tours around the back lot. We did Catastrophe Canyon, that sort of thing. But I also got to do some cool production work when Disney MGM Studios was still kind of like a functioning studio.
Dad,
so I got to do some cool things. All right. The mic is currently, we have first comment here. The mic is currently almost as big as PJ's head. Oh, I guess we have to adjust the mic. Yeah, it's kind of like right in PJ's face there. Sorry about that, folks. We are, trying to work out the kinks here tonight. This is our first ever broadcast. So, anyway, that's a little bit about us. If you have any questions throughout the live broadcast, I would be happy to answer them for you. Same thing with PJ. If you have any questions for PJ in terms of like what kind of rides he likes or what sort of things he likes to do at the parks, feel free to shout them out. PJ will gladly answer those for you. Yep. So, the first thing that I kind of want to talk about was the upcoming spring break season, right? Because a lot of people are going to be headed to the parks. It is a crazy time. It's one of the most busy time of the year in terms of park crowds. So we thought it would be cool tonight to talk a little bit about 5 of our top ways to avoid the park crowds, okay? And like how to optimize your trip.
I can start off with one.
Well, I already kind of have them set up, so we can kind of talk about it as we go. But go ahead, throw one out. We'll see if it's on my list, because you haven't seen my list yet.
So basically, don't go on like the weekend because then like school is out, and then people will go. But if you go on like a Monday or a Tuesday, maybe it'll be like less crowded probably because it won't have school.
That's a very good point. During spring break, a lot of kids are going to be off of school and parents are going to be off of school. So especially with the Florida residents, the weekends, especially during spring break and the summers, those are going to be insanely packed times. Now, that was not part of my top 5. So that's a good little pointer. We're going to throw out probably a lot more than 5, but we are going to start with our top 5. Okay? So should we just jump right in and look at our top 5? Okay. Number 5. And this is going to be, I know everyone's going to have their own little, idea of what it should be. Now, number 5, I put this for a reason, and I know this is going to give me a lot of backlash. Number 5, take advantage of Genie Plus and the Lightning Lanes.
That is so true.
Well, okay. Well, the reason I put it number 5, okay, it should kind of be higher, but I am a fan of the old school Fast Pass system.
Yeah.
Right? I am not a big fan of...
I think Adventure Outdoor, said something.
Okay, well, once I get through my point here. I do not like the monetized Disney Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane, especially when you're going with a larger family, like a family of 4. Dropping $15 per person for an attraction. So for our family, a lot of the Lightning Lanes were $60 to go ride one attraction. Now, can you get on it right away for a premium attraction? Sure. But I do not like the idea of monetizing the queues. So that's why I specifically put this at number 5. All right, so let's see. We have a comment here. Are you going to do the Star Wars experience? It's expensive, but it looks awesome. The whole immersive thing where you stay in character for several days and stay in the ship. Wow. So I know exactly what you're referring to, and I would love to do that. Right now, the parks, they're struggling to fill up that experience because it is mucho dinero. They've already offered a steep discount for employees. When that price comes down and they start to be able to customize the experience, I think that I would love to go there. Surprisingly, PJ is not a huge Star Wars fan. So PJ enjoys the Star Wars rides in Batu, but you are not a big fan of the Star Wars attractions.
Yeah.
Or not, I'm sorry, you are a fan of the Star Wars attractions. You're not a big fan of the Star Wars films. You have seen 2 of them so far.
And also, can I tell something?
Sure, go ahead, man.
So, also, if you have I forgot what it was called, what did I have for the ADHD pass?
Oh, we'll get to that. I know exactly what you're talking about. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, stay with me there. Okay, so let's talk about Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane, okay? Well, here, PJ, you want to keep track of the comments and stuff?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pass this over to you. But just wait until, we're kind of ready to jump in there with the comments. Okay. But, okay, so Genie Plus and the Lightning Lane, right? If you can afford it, if you have the money to spend to optimize your day and be able to get in the Lightning Lanes and be able to get in the front of the line using the Genie Plus system, sure, absolutely. Spend the money, wake up early, sign up for your Genie Plus, get your ride reservations, and a tip with that, right? When you do your ride reservations, as soon as you get in line, as soon as they scan your Genie Plus app, okay, immediately start booking your next reservation. A lot of people will just go through the line and everything and kind of forget to do that. But as soon as you get in line and they scan your phone, you are immediately eligible to book your next reservation, okay? So go ahead and do that. Now, if you can get Lightning Lanes, the attractions that you will want to focus on with the Lightning Lanes is what? One of your favorite rides, bud, in Epcot. What is it?
Test Track.
Test Track, absolutely. Lightning Lane for Test Track. But I was thinking Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
That's another one of my favorites.
Last year, we got to go on, we went on 3 times, I think, right? In our trip, we were lucky enough to get on it 3 times.
And 2 of the songs were the same, and then there was another song.
Yeah, we had 2 of the songs. Yeah. We had Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and, what's the name of the other song? I forget. The Blondie, One Way or Another.
Yeah.
One way. Now I got that stuck in my head. Darn. Okay. So, yeah. Genie Plus and Lightning Lane will definitely help optimize your trip. Okay? No denying that. If you have the money. Again, I am not a huge fan of the monetization process. And I love Lightning Lane. What PJ was referring to was the accessibility option that Disney World offers. So if you are eligible to take advantage of their accessibility package, you book that ahead of time. You probably are already aware of the program, but it is a fantastic way if you have someone in your family that needs that accessibility to be able to basically use Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes for free. You don't have to pay that extra cost, but it is a great way to accommodate families that have those needs. So you can look into that. Maybe in the description I'll post a link to that.
Here's another question from Outdoor.
We got another question here. All right. Is the Walt Disney Christmas experience worth it?
Oh, you have to ask. Do you do that one? Because I've never been.
Wow. Okay. So it has been a while since we have been during Christmas, but absolutely it is worth it. Christmas at Disney World, okay? It is truly magical, especially in the Magic Kingdom, okay? And if you have the money to drop for the Christmas party, it is totally worth it because that is one of the opportunities where you can ride a lot of attractions. They have special shows and parades and things and fireworks. It is a grand old time, and you can get on lots of rides in the evening, and it's a really cool experience. So, yeah, absolutely, it's worth it. They have the most beautiful decorations. I was actually lucky enough one time. We were down at Christmas time, and we were lucky enough to actually have a snow flurry on Main Street. So they had the fake snow that they were pumping in during the party, but it was actually mixed with real snow. Believe it or not, there was a flurry going on. So that was really kind of a magical experience for us. So 100% the Christmas experience, totally worth it. Good question. Okay, so let's move on to number 4. Okay, now, again, this is going to be subject to debate. Avoid parks with extra magic hours, ... unless. Okay, now, hear me out here. All right, so avoid the parks with the extra magic hours because the resort guests that are eligible for extra magic hours are going to pack into those parks on the nights and the mornings of extra magic hours. So those parks are going to be crowded. Now, if you do not have a park hopper pass, I will say stay clear of those parks because the attendance is going to be sky high, okay? So make sure that you scope out which parks on which days have extra magic hours because you will not want to go to those parks. Believe me, especially if you are stuck in that park all day, the crowds will be miserable. So, let me get to the unless, all right? Now, if you are lucky enough to be staying at one of the Walt Disney World resorts, especially the deluxe resorts, where you can get the extra magic hours, then by all means take advantage of the extra magic hours, whether it be in the morning or in the evening, and especially if you upgraded to park hopping, okay? Because the extra magic hours, especially when the parks are open late, when during the busier peak times when the parks are already open extremely late, and you get those extra magic hours that go until like 1 a.m., absolutely take advantage of that benefit, all right? Because as a resort guest, you're going to be able to shut down the park, and the crowds will be extremely low the later you get. PJ, you want to say something? What's up, dude?
So another question from Adventures of Outdoor Eagle.
Okay, what's the question?
Is Disneyland just as magical in your opinion?
Is Disneyland as magical as Walt Disney World? Yes, it is magical in a different way. Being that Disneyland is the park that kind of started it all, and Walt's vision and his blood, sweat, and tears went in to Disneyland, and you can see how Disneyland is vastly different than the Magic Kingdom, just with the space limitations that they had at Disneyland, as well as some of the things that they probably would have changed later. Such things as like outdoor queues. Like you see a lot more of the outdoor queues at Disneyland. And obviously the sight lines in Disneyland, several of the areas in Disneyland, you are seeing the outside world, which Walt was never a huge fan of. So you are seeing downtown Anaheim, California, when you are on some of the rides and attractions. Whereas in Disney World, you are immersed in that magic all the time, right? So you're not going to see people commuting to work while you're on the Matterhorn, right? You're not going to see an IHOP across the street when you're in Walt Disney World. So Disneyland is totally magical. I mean, you can literally see Walt's apartment. You can walk in his footsteps. You can see all the little personal touches that he made. You can see the secret restaurant. Well, if you go on a super specific tour, you can see the very super secret restaurant in the in Disneyland, which is pretty cool. And you know what else I like about Disneyland is that you can literally walk right across the hub and get to California Adventure. It's not like you have to hop and do Disney transportation, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, but I have got my Mickey cup. Actually, it's a little blur. I'm going to put it back toward my face. That is my Mickey Epcot Turvis. I love this thing.
Yeah, it's about the all around the world part, like Mexico, Norway.
Yeah, the World Showcase. But yeah, absolutely. Disneyland is a very magical experience. And also it's cool because a lot of the attractions in Disneyland are different, right? Just in subtle ways. Like Pirates of the Caribbean is actually a much longer attraction in Disneyland more than in Disney World. And then you have some other cool attractions that you don't have at Disney World, like Matterhorn, stuff like that. Small World's different. Splash Mountain, well, that's going to be totally different now, but it was a little bit different. Space Mountain's different, has like the different cars and stuff.
I wonder if Disneyland's doing their refurbishment too for swaps.
Yeah, they're both going to the Princess and the Frog, Tiana theme,
that's sad.
The Bayou. It's all right. Well, you weren't a huge fan, so let me tell you about PJ. PJ is not a huge thrill ride kind of guy. Haven't you been on Splash Mountain once? Yeah, you got on it once, and you're not a big fan of the drop, so yeah, it's okay. So that answers that question. But now back to, again, avoiding the crowds. You want to avoid the parks with extra magic hours if you do not have that hopping option and you do not have the benefit of the extra magic hours for staying on property. Okay, all right, moving on up. So let's move on to number 3. Take advantage of park hopping. If it is in your budget to upgrade to a park hopper pass, please do so. And I will give you a couple reasons why you will want to upgrade to a park hopper pass, okay? So, during busy times, you can read all of the crowd forecasts that you want. You can do all the planning that you want. There are going to be those fluke days where you go to a park that you think is going to be at a green level, and it is just mobbed. I mean, during spring break, most of the parks are going to be packed to capacity, all right? Now, if you have the ability to hop, you can look at those crowd forecasts, and you can go onto some of these websites that are actually telling you in real time what these other parks are like. You can even look at the app and see the wait times that are currently in the other parks. So if you are stuck with your reservation in the morning and that park is absolutely mobbed, you can hop over to another park and enjoy one of the more less crowded parks.
Like Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom's really not really like popular most of the time.
Yeah, you usually can get a reservation for Animal Kingdom. Now, you could be stuck because all the reservations might be taken, but you'll probably luck out, to be honest. Yeah, hopping too, at least for me, I don't know what the rest of you guys feel out there, but park hopping for me keeps me more interested. I feel like I get to go to 2 parks in a day versus just being stuck at one. It also gives you the flexibility if you want to do different nighttime shows. So you might be over Magic Kingdom all morning and having a great time, but you've done everything you want to do. And at night, you want to go be like, oh man, I want to go see the nighttime fireworks over at Epcot. Without park hopping, you're kind of stuck. You're going to be in Magic Kingdom at night, and then there's nothing you can do. The park might be crowded. You might be stuck on a night with extra magic hours, and the park's going to be mobbed. You don't have the flexibility to hop over to one of your other resorts. So I am always a big proponent of park hopping. PJ, well, what about you? When we go on our trips, we've always had park hoppers, and we've debated not getting park hopping. Do you think, for you would be less excited to go back at night to the same park? If we had to go back to the same park we went to in the morning.
Nah, because then you're like, oh, we have to go on this ride again. It would just be like a little boring. I don't know why. It would just be a little tiny boring, because then we could do here's some new rides we could do.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think hopping makes the trip so much more exciting. I feel like you get to see more. You get to avoid the crowds more. You have that ability to really avoid the crowds and really maximize your time in the park. So you can also take whatever park is open the latest. So if Magic Kingdom's going to be the park that is open the latest, then you can hop over to that park just so you get more hours. Whereas if you really wanted to do a Hollywood Studios night and that park closes at like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and then you're like, all right, well, that's the end of my day. If you have a park hopper and Magic Kingdom's open until midnight or 1 a.m. if you have extra magic hours, bam, you can go over to Magic Kingdom and have an awesome night and get on a ton of more attractions than if you were just stuck with Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, which typically have earlier hours in terms of closing. So,
question.
Oh, we have a question. All right, let's see. It says, do you have a favorite resort that's dear to your heart? And have you ever got the chance to do the cruise in Private Island? Well, I definitely have a few favorite resorts. It's going to be hard to pick one.
Mine is the beach.
The Beach Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why? Go ahead and tell them why you love the Beach Club. I already know what you're going to say.
It just has like a lot of activities, like the pool.
There it is, the pool.
Yeah, the pool's really like nice.
Yeah. So one of our bucket list items, my wife and I, we want to be able to stay at every Disney World resort at some point, right? We've already stayed at a lot of them. One of our favorite resorts is definitely Beach Club. We've stayed there multiple times, and we just actually stayed there on our last trip. And it was an absolute blast, right? I mean, the pool... I love the fact that you have to be a guest there to get into the pool because the pool is just so amazing. You have a zero entry, literal sand bottom pool, and it is just totally another level to be able to get in this pool, wiggle your feet around and your toes in the sand. It's just awesome.
Just the one thing I don't like about it is just the lazy river. It's so like deep.
The lazy river.
Yeah, it's like 12
but that's
feet.
pretty cool.
It's like 8 feet deep.
Yep. Now, actually, do you know the history of why that particular area is so deep?
No.
No, of course you don't. So originally, that was supposed to be an area where you could be able to swim and kind of like scuba with fish, like real live fish and things. But it didn't work out. It was too much of a headache for Disney to maintain that. And so, unfortunately, it just became a really deep area of the pool, which I thought was cool because we had a lot of good times. We were like diving down to the bottom and doing like dive sticks and playing games and stuff like that. Actually, I'll have to upload it. We have tons of GoPro footage of us in that deep end of that lazy river, which was awesome. And you love playing the volleyball and the water slide that goes across the walkway to Epcot. That's pretty awesome too.
It goes like this, and then it goes into like a forest section.
Yep. It was really cool. Now, favorite resort that I've stayed at. Now, I have not yet stayed at the Polynesian, and that's probably one of my favorite resorts. And includes one of my favorite restaurants, which is Ohana. So that would definitely be the top of my list, but I haven't stayed there. So I would have to say the resort that I enjoy the most, it's a toss-up. We love the Epcot resorts because you can literally walk into that secret entrance of Epcot. It's between the Yacht and Beach Club for me and the Boardwalk Resort. The Boardwalk Resort is right there. It's themed very well, but it's a little bit more laid back than the Beach Club. And you've got a cool little picnic area. You've got the vibe of the boardwalk going on. You're right there. You can walk into Epcot.
Yeah. And also,
I think the rooms are a little bit nicer.
You said well, it's a river wall.
Yeah, that is true. It is a river. I guess I'm gonna go. I hate to say this. I like the rooms more at the boardwalk. I'm gonna agree with PJ. I'm gonna say the Beach Club Resort is probably the most impressive resort.
And then we have to do the second question.
Okay. Have you ever gotten the chance to do the cruise in Private Island? Okay, so we have been on a few Disney cruises, and we have done Castaway Cay, which is an amazing private island. Do you remember? Because you were smaller. Do you remember doing the aqueduct? Because you totally did the aqueduct.
No.
You don't remember it? Oh, okay. Well, we have done it. We've done it multiple times. I want to say the last time we did a Disney cruise was probably...
2012?
No, it was after 2012. You weren't a baby.
18 or like
No, it was more like 2015 or 2016. It's been a while. And unfortunately, it's because Disney raised the price so much. I don't know if we can afford it. I mean,
well, we can.
we can, but
Yeah,
we could literally go on.
Yeah.
We're big cruising fans, but you could literally go on 2 Royal Caribbean cruises, 3 Carnival cruises to the price of 1 Disney cruise. Now, if you have small children and they're really into Disney, by all means, the Disney cruise is awesome. It's top of the line, family entertainment. The shows are out of this world. But the price, man. Oh, the price. I wish they would lower the price just a little bit so we could more afford it. You know? The island, I have actually a funny story about the island. We've been to Castaway Cay multiple times. It's awesome because they have the buffets that you don't have to pay for. It's unending food. The beaches are immaculate. When Castaway Cay first started their 5K, I ran, I believe it was only the second time they ever did the Castaway Cay 5K, which is a cool experience where you get to go on a 5K around the island. You get a cool little medal and everything. It's free. I'm assuming they still do that. But I did it like the second time, and it was blazing hot that day. It was like 95 degrees in the sun when we started to run. And I'm in good shape. I'm a good runner. I've done marathons, a half marathon, stuff like that, right? So I'm like 5K. This is easy. The weather's going to be hot, but whatever. So we start running, and we're running and running. And they didn't have much of a course set up. They had employees every so often just kind of pointing you in the direction that you needed to go. And we're running around this private island. And there was a bunch of us together, but some of the faster runners were out in front. And we're just getting pointed to where we're going, like down this big runway, and then make a left, and then make our way back through. And we are just running and running. As a runner, I kind of have a good gauge of how far I have ran. And so I'm like, man, I know the weather sucks, and we should be coming up on 3 miles, 3.1 miles. And, dude, they just had us running all over the place. Well, it turns out someone, like one of the employees who was stationed to point us in the right direction, pointed us in the totally opposite direction. So we ended up running literally over 6 miles by the time it was all done. I was like, something was going on because I was dead. I mean, the sun was beating down on me. I was sunburned because I didn't think thought I was going to run like maybe a 19-minute 5K, and we ended up running, I think it was like just under 6 miles. They totally apologized to us after the fact that they had pointed us in the wrong direction or whatever. But that was quite interesting. But Castaway Cay, it's totally awesome. Definitely do a Disney cruise. Okay, so let's get back to the crowds.
Actually, no. We'll wait.
Okay, yeah, let me get on to the next point here, and then we'll take another question. Yes. Now, I do want to go over some of the ones that did not make our top 5 here. I'm going to pull up some of the ones that we didn't use, because I want to go. We definitely have way more than 5, but these are just the top 5 that we came up with.
I'm barely getting on camera.
Well, you could sit up a little bit. You actually, dude, you could probably stand up. You could probably straight up stand up.
Can you like move the?
Well, see, that's the camera that we're using right now. That's just my laptop, little dude.
Oh,
but dude, yeah, if you want to stand up, go for it, man. Just move your chair out of the way. Like I said, this is our first time, and we've had a lot going on, so forgive us that we're a little bit, just winging it tonight. All right, so onward and upward to number 3. Actually, no, you know what? We are on number 2. Number 2. Here it comes. Take advantage of less popular attractions midday. Okay? So hear me out. And this is going to tie in a little bit to my number 1. When you go during a busy time of the year, okay, you are going to want to go nice and early, be at the park early. That is a great tip. But not everyone likes to get up early. A lot of people like to roll into the park at 11 and 12 o'clock, and some of the busiest times during the day are going to be between lunchtime and 5 o'clock, right? That's kind of like the midday height of the crowds where pretty much everyone and their brother is at the park, okay? So what you need to do is know the attractions that you want to go on, especially the high-tiered attractions, okay? Your Mine Train, your Snow White and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, your Space Mountains, your Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, Test Track, all the big name attractions, right? You are going to want to rope drop those attractions first. You're going to want to make a beeline as soon as the rope drops, and have in mind, now don't go in without a plan, right? You are going to want to know what attractions you're going to want to go to at rope drop. Now, we can go over each park and kind of go over the rope drop attractions that we would do, that we would recommend, okay? PJ, let's say we're going to the Magic Kingdom. We are there at rope drop. What is the first thing that we are going to go to?
This is a hard one.
I can tell you for me, I already know there's one or two attractions that I'm going to first.
Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain? Splash Mountain's closed, bro.
Well, no. Well,
maybe it used to be Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
For me, I am either going Space Mountain, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, or I'm going to Peter Pan's Flight. Those three attractions are going to be mobbed later on in the day. I mean, you're talking 2+ hour waits later on in the day that you're probably not going to wait.
I don't know.
You're going to want to wait for.
I don't know why Peter Pan Flight got so popular, because it never,
I know,
was that popular.
It's like a 2-minute ride. I mean, the nostalgia of Peter Pan's Flight, it's a great ride, right? But yeah, the fact that people wait 3 hours to get on Peter Pan's Flight, that's insane to me. So if you're going to go on that is one of the rope drop attractions that you're going to want to hit in Magic Kingdom. But I would say one of those three. You're going to either want to hit probably Space Mountain, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
I'm good at Epcot.
Or Peter Pan's Flight early. Now, in terms of the midday crowds, right? You're going to have tons of people in the park, and you are going to want to hit up some of the attractions that are just magical, wonderful attractions and shows in the park that a lot of people just don't visit, that are going to have less of a wait midday. For Magic Kingdom, let's go over Magic Kingdom first, right? First, one of my favorites, Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
You like Carousel of Progress. Yeah. Okay, so you are talking to an almost 11-year-old boy, and he very much enjoys Carousel of Progress. It is just one of those legacy attractions where you can beat the heat, get inside, chill for a good 25 minutes, and enjoy a nice family-friendly show that is filled with nostalgia, okay? Especially if you're a little bit older, like myself, who's seen the show a lot. But now think about this, PJ. Can you smell Carousel of Progress?
Yes.
You can literally, Carousel of Progress has a smell. It has a distinct smell to it that just brings back like all the memories, okay? All right, so Carousel of Progress. Another one.
TTA.
Yes, the transportation. Yeah. Wait, the TT, yeah.
Because it's good for like talking over which ride you're doing next, and like talking.
You get the sky high view, paging Mr. Morrow, Mr. Tom Morrow. Yeah. It's definitely an awesome.
You also get to like talk and stuff.
The highway in the sky, right? So why am I getting tongue-tied? I'm getting all nervous here. But yeah, we definitely love the Skyway attraction. But then I was actually thinking Mickey's PhilharMagic, because
I'm not a fan of that, but Dad probably is.
The Mickey's PhilharMagic?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
No, it sprays stuff on me. I don't like it.
You don't like the 4D part of it?
Yeah, I don't like it.
You're hiding behind the mic again, dude. Why don't you just stand up, bro?
Okay.
Yeah, just totally stand up, man.
1 second.
Here, we'll move this chair out of the way for you.
No, I was blocking. No.
There you go, bud. All right. Ugh. TTA, Mickey's PhilharMagic. Those are the ones you're going to want to hit during the day if you can. You might get lucky, and some of the other attractions too get a little less crowded. Sometimes you get lucky with Haunted Mansion if you keep an eye on the waits for that. And then Small World, occasionally you'll get lucky with that as well, with a 15 to 20 minute wait during the busier periods. Anything that you can get on for 45 minutes and under is definitely going to be a plus. So keep an eye on your app for those attractions. Any other recommendations in terms of attractions for you, buddy? Here, why don't you know what? Got our backdrop there.
Also another popular one is Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, but Buzz, that's going to be, I wouldn't say that's a less popular attraction. That's going to be...
No, I said more popular attraction.
Okay, well, I was thinking the rides that you get on kind of midday that are going to have a little bit less of a wait. You know what I mean? Oh, duh, Hall of Presidents. Hall of Presidents, like, no one ever gets on Hall of Presidents. That's a good way to get out of the summertime heat, or just like, if you're exhausted and you need to sit down for a good half hour... Dude, Hall of Presidents is awesome. Like, you're never waiting more than, like, 20 to 30 minutes to get in and sit down, enjoy a Morgan Freeman narrated film, and see the presidents talking. It's a good time. I enjoy Hall of Presidents. I mean, like, kids may not like it as much, but they need that downtime during the day. So, those are some attractions, Magic Kingdom. Now, let's talk Epcot. PJ said he loves Epcot. All right, so what are you going to rope drop for Epcot? I already know what you're going to say.
Guardians, Test Track, and...
Now, don't forget Guardians, though. You need a pass to get on Guardians. Yeah. Like, you actually need a reservation to get on Guardians. You can't just walk up to Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah, Guardians...
You need to get in that virtual queue.
And...
Yeah, so if you're rope dropping, by all means, you need to get on either Test Track, I would say... Maybe Soarin'.
Or
Soarin',
no, not
Frozen
Soarin'.
Ever After. But yeah, Soarin', that's true. The lines for Soarin' are a little bit less these days. Everyone's not a huge fan of the new version of Soarin'. I'm not. I totally missed the California version. But yeah, some of the Epcot attractions that you could hit during the day when the parks get really crowded. Journey into the Imagination with Figment. That ride is awesome. And it hardly ever has more than like a 30-minute wait. Also, the Seas with Nemo and Friends. That's another great attraction that usually doesn't have much of a wait. You can also see some of the shows around the World Showcase. Those are excellent ways to get out of the heat. And you also have like Mission Space. If you have a good tolerance for like motion sickness and stuff. I love Mission Space, but it's not for everybody. But that ride, especially because you have the two sides now, the green and the orange side, you can definitely get on that with not much of a wait during the day. What do you got, PJ? Do we have a question?
Yes. So, where is it? Also, there's a question. What shirt are you wearing?
Oh, the shirt that I'm wearing is my Mickey Mouse shirt.
And also, there's another question.
Thanks for my attire. Yeah. I'm also wearing, check this out. I am wearing my Mickey slippers because it's a little bit chilly down here.
And also, this is a question for you.
All right. What's my question?
Is there a resort that more for the adult on break from their kids? You can read it. It's right there.
All right. What do we got here? Is there a resort that's more for the adult on a break from their kids? Well, I mean, obviously you're going to get a lot of families in Disney World, so you're going to get kids in mostly all the resorts. Stay away from the value resorts. If you don't want kids running around, you are going to want to stay more towards your upper tier deluxe resorts, your resorts, say like the Grand Floridian. If you can splurge for the Grand Floridian, by all means, you're not going to run into a ton of kids there. You will get some, but you're definitely going to have more of an adult experience over at the Grand Floridian. Same thing with the Polynesian Resort. You probably have a little more kids over at the Polynesian, but still, it's not as bad as, say, the Pop Century or Art of Animation or one of those resorts. So if you can pony up some dough and stay at the Grand Floridian, you're definitely going to get a good adult experience there at the Grand Floridian. Okay, so let's talk about the next park, Hollywood Studios. So if you are going to rope drop Hollywood Studios, you are going to want to do...
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror does get pretty busy, but no, I'm thinking Slinky Dog Dash, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like Slinky Dog Dash or Rise of the Resistance.
Minnie and
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. See, that ride doesn't always get super busy. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway sometimes only has 30 to 45 minute wait.
It's new rides that get like popular.
Yeah. For me, if I am rope dropping Hollywood Studios, I'm going straight to Rise of the Resistance or Slinky Dog Dash. Those two rides later in the day are going to be mobbed. So do those. Even if you have your Genie Plus, save your Genie Plus because you're going to have that window of time to get on that. Rush over to Rise of the Resistance or Slinky Dog Dash, get on those, then go to your first Genie Plus reservation because you're going to optimize your time that way. Now, at Hollywood Studios, later in the day, they have a number of shows that are excellent, including like the Beauty and the Beast show. I love the Beauty and the Beast live on stage show, not only because my daughter's going to be now in Beauty and the Beast twice, but that's a great attraction. And then they have like Star Tours. Star Tours, now that the Batu area is open, you can usually get on Star Tours without much of a wait. The Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, if you're an Indiana Jones fan like me, you will love the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. And again, that show, it doesn't get that busy anymore. I do think it needs to kind of be renovated and upgraded a little bit and updated. But the show is pretty good. And there's never that long of a wait for Indiana Jones. Unfortunately, it's still hot. They do have some fans and stuff in Indiana Jones, but it's a good attraction to go to during the day when the park is crowded. And also just take in some of the park ambience when you're there. It's not all about the rides. Disney is themed so well. You could spend time just going in some of the shops and stuff like that and just really kind of relaxing. Don't worry so much about just ride.
Maybe ride, show, shop, and then maybe like a show and then a ride or something.
Yeah.
Not like ride, shop, ride, show.
Yeah. I mean, you enjoy some of the shows and stuff, dude, right? I mean, I know you're a ride guy. You're a kid, obviously. But the shows are pretty awesome, you know? So, by all means, take advantage of some of those during the day. Now, finally, Animal Kingdom. That's going to probably be your less crowded of any of the 4 parks that you're going to do throughout your trip. But there's still some things that you're going to do. Obviously, Pandora. If you are rope dropping Animal Kingdom, go to Pandora and ride what?
Flight of Passage?
Flight of Passage, that's my man.
I mean.
What?
Flight of Passage, I mean.
Flight of Passage. Because Flight of Passage, later on, will have a super long wait. Rope drop Flight of Passage, or the Safari ride, right? Kilimanjaro Safaris
Or Dinosaur.
is notorious for getting long lines later in the day. Dinosaur can get like... Yeah, sometimes you will see Dinosaur in an hour or two.
It's like a... kind of like... Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, sometimes it is, sometimes... Normally it's like average of like 25-minute wait at the...
Yeah.
Normally.
Well, Animal Kingdom, when it starts to get crowded, there's going to be a couple things that you could do. Some of the treks, the Maharaja Jungle Trek is one of my favorites. The animal treks and the animal trails are astounding, especially if you're like a photographer. You can take some amazing pictures of just some amazing animals like gorillas and bats and birds. Like you can get up close and personal with some of these, the most beautiful birds, you know, that come right up to you. It's amazing. They have the bird show.
And also for kids, there is...
They've got the Boneyard.
Yeah.
Which you guys used to love.
You know, like that, like thing that we had to like find, like the little badges.
Oh yeah, the adventurers, the junior explorers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool way. I mean, in the summertime, it definitely gets hot doing the junior explorers program. But again, that is PJ. That is a great point because the junior explorers, as you make your way through the park, it definitely keeps the kids engaged in what's going on around them, not necessarily all the rides that Animal Kingdom has to offer. And you do get to go over to like Rafiki's and take that train ride and enjoy some of the indoor spaces in there. I was actually going to bring up Rafiki's Planet Watch. That's a good area to go to when the park gets really crowded. You could take that train over. You could see the bird show. Obviously, Festival of the Lion King, that is one of our absolute favorites. It's probably one of Amy's favorite shows on all the property. I'm so glad that it's back post-COVID. And that's just, again, another way to get out of the heat, out of the sun, just chill for a little while. Let your kid just kind of decompress and enjoy some time indoors. And also, I'm the only one in our family that likes Tough to Be a Bug. No one else in my family likes Tough to Be a Bug. I love Tough to Be a Bug. Sometimes, if it's really crazy, you'll see a longer wait, but really, you can almost walk on Tough to Be a Bug. It'll say 15 minutes and pretty much walk on. The worst you're going to have to do is probably wait for the show in front of you to let out. And again, that's a fantastic way to just decompress and chill. What's up, man?
We have to hurry up because we got questions. We got another. We got another.
Another what? Okay, what's the question? Hit me.
Questions. Okay.
All right.
So, what cast are you? What cast were you and your wife? If you're able to talk about
we
it.
talked about that a little bit earlier on. I worked over at the Disney MGM Studios backlot tour in the shuttles area. So I gave the tours of the backlot. We did the Catastrophe Canyon. We did those, like the costuming areas and stuff. When you got on that shuttle on the backlot tour, that was me. I was given the tours. We had to memorize the whole script. That was fun. Then we got to drive the shuttles, do loading, unloading. It was like a rotation, so you would do one job for like an hour, then you would rotate. I forget the actual rotation schedule, but it was pretty cool because you never got bored doing the same thing all day. But then as someone who had a background in video production and live production studio work, I actually got to work some of the live productions that came through Disney MGM Studios when it was a working production facility and editing facility. Some of the stuff that I got to work on when I was working there were the Aaron Carter, Samantha Moomba concert. Remember Good Morning America came through. Got to work with Regis Philbin when they were doing the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire live from the Disney MGM Studios. That was pretty cool. Sheena Queen of the Jungle was filming there. I forget. There was the Rosie O'Donnell show came through. So, and I also got to do some fireworks stuff too. So some of the nights we had fireworks at Disney MGM Studios, I got to do cleanup for that. Amy worked over at the Emporium on Main Street. She had crazy hours, especially when Magic Kingdom was open later. And she got to do some crowd control parades. I think that was kind of like one of her favorite things was doing the crowd control with the parades. So she was at the Emporium on Main Street, which is an amazing store, by the way. And getting back really quick, we have the last park to talk about, so we'll knock that one out of the way in terms of taking advantage of less popular attractions during the midday, and that would be... Oh, wait. Actually, no, we covered them because we talked about Animal Kingdom.
And also one more question.
Oh, okay, we got another question.
What should you rope drop at Disneyland?
Ooh, Disneyland. Well, that's tough. Big Thunder Mountain... Matterhorn. I mean, there's so many good ones because there's also two parks there. There's Disneyland and California Adventure. So if I'm rope dropping over there, I'm probably doing Space Mountain. Some of the Star Wars attractions get pretty busy. Because I don't go to Disneyland that much. What would I do? I am probably going to do one of the Star Wars attractions. Yeah. That would be what I would do over in Disneyland. Okay, so we're going to go to our number one, and then we'll do some of our honorable mentions. All right, number one. Here we go. Arrive early and stay late and avoid the parks midday. So I know we just went over everything if you are there midday, what you should get on, but our number one rule as a family, okay? And if you have kids, listen to this, all right? Go early. Wake up early. Be at the parks no later than 30 minutes before rope drop. You're going to want to be right at the front of Magic Kingdom when they let you in so you can go to the attraction that you want or whatever park you're in. You're going to be in the front of that line, okay? If you have the ability to go to the extra magic hours in the morning, be there 30 minutes before the extra magic hour starts. Get there early. You will be able to get on another I would say at least 2 to 3 attractions. If you just get there early, then if you arrive either on time or late to the park. PJ, in our experience, in the mornings, even during busy periods and busy days, we get to go on probably 2 or 3 attractions before we even touch a line.
And also the water parks. Do that for the water parks too.
The water parks too, absolutely. You go early, you're going to get on an extra probably 2 to 3 attractions before all those people start piling in. You'll slowly start seeing the crowds go up and up. Get there early, okay? And now, what we're going to say on top of that, when the crowds are busy and the parks are insane, it's just going to drain you. It's going to drain your energy, right? It's just going to take something out of you, and you're going to have to re-energize. So we do, and this is what we would recommend you do, okay? Midday, after lunch, let's say you open the park, you've gotten on lots of rides, you've done your thing, you've seen some shows, and the waits are now starting to be incredible. Everything's an hour to 2 hours. That is when you want to pack up. Usually for us, it's going to be around 2 to 3 o'clock time frame. We're going to pack up, and we are going to go back to our resort, and we are going to chill for a while. We're going to take naps. We might chill by the pool. We might just hang out and watch some TV and really re-energize ourselves. If you've got little kids, you're going to want to put them down for a nap. You're going to want to just re-energize and just fill up your tank, okay? Because everyone else is going to be just in the parks, going nuts, waiting in super long lines, 2 to 3 hour lines, and just getting frustrated at life, right? They are going to be miserable by the time that you get back to the park later on after dinner. And that's what we want to emphasize. Now, we always go, and even if we are staying at a Disney resort, we still get a rental car, or sometimes we even drive down. We're from Maryland, and sometimes we'll even drive down to the parks, which we've done the last couple trips because flights have been a nightmare. So we'll go back to the resort, 2 to 3 hours, take naps, just chill, take that time to just re-energize and just have a nice snack, then go get a nice dinner, okay? And when you're going during these busy times, the park hours are going to be open later, okay? So you are going to be able to stay later at the parks, and that is why we have stay late, okay? Because all the people that stayed there all day, they're going to be dead tired, and they are going to start filtering out from the park, and then the park is going to be yours later on, especially during the busy park times when the parks stay open later, stay open till midnight, 1 a.m. with the extra magic hours. And you are going to be able to walk onto attractions that earlier in the day had 2 hour waits. On our last trip, there was a night where Magic Kingdom was open until 1 a.m. We didn't stay till 1 a.m. I think we headed out around like 12:30, 12:45. But I would say after 11 o'clock, it was dead. It was anything we wanted to get on was basically walk right on. We got on Big Thunder Mountain multiple times in a row. Splash Mountain was open. We walked right on Splash Mountain. We got on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train with like a 5-minute wait. We got on Space Mountain, no wait. Buzz Lightyear, no wait. Pretty much anything we wanted to get on in Magic Kingdom, we were on. Because everybody else was dead tired. They had been there all day, didn't go home, didn't chill, and they were tired. Do you remember that, PJ, the night that we stayed really late at Magic Kingdom? And it was like dead?
Yes and no.
Yes and no? Why don't you remember it? I don't know what the no part of that is. You remember it but don't remember it. So I don't know what that means, but I remember it vividly, and it was a great time. So that is our number one tip, honestly. Go early, then head out, get yourself, but you can eat in the park. One of our honorable mentions, I'm going to go into this right now. One of our honorable mentions is to pack your own lunch, okay? We love Disney dining. Don't get us wrong. There are restaurants that we love, like we have to eat a Cosmic Rays when we're in Magic Kingdom. We used to always love going to Electric Umbrella. Unfortunately, that's gone now. So don't get us wrong. We enjoy going to some of those restaurants. But it will save you so much time if you just pack your own lunch, especially during the busier periods, because you will not have to wait in those 30 to 40 minute long lines for food and waste your time in the parks doing food, okay? You can just find yourself a nice little picnic spot in the park, sit down, enjoy a quick little lunch that you've packed for yourself. You'll save yourself some money, and yeah, you will not regret packing your own lunch and your own food. Also, with us having our own car, we save a lot of money just going to restaurants outside of the parks, right? We drive our car and we go over to some of the restaurants, like we'll go to Chili's and stuff like that. And I know that's not very magical on a Disney World vacation, but you will spend half of what you're going to spend in Disney parks at some of the restaurants and outside Orlando, like the Ale House. We love going to the Ale House. We love going to Chili's. But again, we mix that in with some of the Disney restaurants. I am a huge fan of Ohana. It's where we got engaged.
Did you say, like, to pack lunches?
Yeah, we literally just said pack your own lunch. Because, well, you two, like, you guys prefer the pack lunches than some of the park food because you're kind of a picky eater.
I like to have chicken tenders.
The chicken tenders, yeah. So unless you're eating chicken tenders every day. Yeah. Let's see. Is there any other questions? Remind me. I have a suggestion about your film set to make at the end of tonight's epic Disney adventure with Dad and PJ. All right. Sounds good. So, some of our other honorable mentions that did not make the top 5, we just said about the food. Shopping, okay? Shopping on very hot park days, it's a good way to get out of the sun. But one little inside secret that a lot of people don't realize, okay? When the park closes, they are not going to kick you out. Disney will not kick you out of the parks. Amy had to work several shifts where she was several hours past park closing because they want you in there spending money. Disney wants you in there buying stuff in the Emporium, in all of the wonderful shops throughout the park. They are not going to kick you out. So do not waste your precious park time going shopping. Do it after park closes. One, okay, the shops might be a little busy because people are going to want to hit up their stuff on the way out. So there is that, which is kind of a negative. But you're not going to waste your park time. You're not going to waste your time that you have where you could be going to shows or anything like that. And once that park clears out because you're shopping, you're going to get some magical shots, say, along Main Street and in the parks because there's not going to be many people in there. We've gotten some of the most magical shots and photographs well after hours because that's when we do our shopping. If you are not in a rush to get out of the park, do your shopping at the end of the night. They will not kick you out, believe me. I mean, there comes a certain point where they will friendly ask you to leave, but you have at least an hour to an hour and a half after park close before they kindly ask you to make your final purchases and head out. And you can also go to some of the food establishments as well, enjoy a nice little evening snack or beverage or cup of coffee, and enjoy some of the more quiet time in the park and take some really cool pictures. So that was one of our honorable mentions. Of course, if you do not have to be every living moment in a park, enjoy your resort, okay? You're paying a lot of money probably to stay at a Disney resort or a resort in Orlando that usually have like wonderful pools and facilities on site. Take some downtime and go to Disney Springs. Spend some time at your resort. Go to the pool. Go to some of the area if you have a car. Like go to the outlets. Go to the mall. Go see some of the stuff. Go to, dare I say it, City Walk. That's a cool little fun getaway in the evening.
And also Universal. You could try out Universal too.
You could do Universal if you really wanted to. I dare say that Charlotte and I did Universal on our last trip. But, you know, this is a Disney podcast here tonight, dude. So I shouldn't say Universal tonight. Let's see. What else we've got? Oh, okay, here's a good one. During busy park times. If you've already seen the fireworks, and say you've seen the fireworks shows 20 times, go on rides during fireworks, okay? When 90% of the park is gathered in front of Cinderella Castle to watch the fireworks, guess what people aren't doing? People aren't riding rides while the fireworks are going on. And I'm going to top that with one better, okay? Because this is a truly magical experience. I've posted a video about it. Go over to Big Thunder Mountain, okay? Big Thunder Mountain during fireworks is magical. You get to go up the little lift hills. You got fireworks going off. The colors are illuminating Big Thunder Mountain. What's that?
Oh yeah, that was so cool that one night.
Yeah. Oh, so you remember that? That was the night that we stayed really late. we were riding rides during the fireworks, and the park was getting ready to clear out, and we had extra magic hours, and it's so beautiful. And unfortunately, Splash Mountain's closed right now, but eventually when it reopens as the Bayou Adventure, you can do that at night, and during fireworks, it's just so beautiful. A little hidden area for fireworks, if you do want to watch fireworks, go over to the Little Mermaid attraction in Magic Kingdom. Not many people stand over there for the fireworks, and you are literally standing underneath of where these beautiful fireworks are exploding. And you have a wonderful, usually unobstructed view because everyone is kind of crowded like mules in front of Cinderella Castle and around Cinderella Castle. Is it the best view? No, but it is an up-close and personal view of fireworks that you do not get anywhere else, let's be honest. So, little insider tip there. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here in terms of our honorable mentions?
Dad.
What's up?
I have a suggestion.
A suggestion. Okay, what's a suggestion?
Chill in your comfy movie chair so PJ is not an ant in his pants.
Well, PJ is just fidgeting all around. I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
PJ has the ability. He has like a thing where he loves to fidget. So as much as I'm kind of like, oh, PJ, you need to chill. Just something, PJ.
Yeah.
It's a little quirk that we love about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Disney Springs?
Oh yeah, we never finished it, but
Go to Disney Springs. What's up?
and it also says set up a camera so the shot in the chairs is closer and possibility use a little green screen behind you. That
way it'd be more comfy. Well, I like the suggestions for our next one. Actually, I do have a green screen. Got to do some work to get it rolling, though, because I tried to do some green screen work for some videos. I wasn't getting the best results, but kind of got some new gear lately, so that might work. But if you guys have any suggestions or any comments or tips on how to beat the crowds that we haven't gone over, we'd love to hear from you. Like, be sure to leave in the suggestions and the comments, some of your personal tips. I know going during busy times is frustrating, and you're going to get down there and feel like, wow, we spent so much money to come down to Disney World, and, you're going to feel defeated in a way when you're not having that super magical experiences because the park is just so crowded and you're shoulder to shoulder with everybody. Just take your time. Just realize going in that the parks are going to be crowded, and just make the most of your Disney experience. You know what? I totally forgot. Holy smokes. Because I am thinking my last trip. We have not been since Tron opened in Magic Kingdom. So that is going to be an attraction that you're going to want to hit early or late. Technically, I guess it's not even open. They're doing guest previews right now.
No.
The reviews for Tron are pretty awesome, except for it's pretty short.
No, I think all the people can go in it now.
Well, they're doing guest previews. Technically, it does. I think April 4th is the official open date for Tron, but a lot of people have gone on it. The one criticism is that I think for bigger passengers on the attraction that you have to be, a little bit on the smaller side to get on. I actually posted a funny short about that. Maybe I'll link to it. But yeah, that's going to be one of those rope drop Magic Kingdom ones that you're probably going to want to do like virtual queue for or lightning lane for when that's available. So yeah, just make the most out of your trip, man. Spring break, I remember working there during spring break, and it was crazy. I mean, I worked the back lot, which is one of the less crowded attractions, and man, I remember we had waits that were 2 to 3 hours long during spring break, and it was nuts. If you want a little, here's an insider cast member little secret, right? And unfortunately, this is kind of outdated at this point. When we were training I've told you this before. When we were training on the shuttles, we had a very long script to memorize. You only have a few days to memorize literally a script that it was about a 20-minute tour when all was said and done. It was a lot to memorize. And if you did not do your training well, if you didn't master, you had to learn how to drive this super long shuttle through really confined spaces, memorize a script. It was a lot, and not everyone can do it. And for one, when you interview, you kind of already have to have like an outgoing personality to be put on shuttles or one of the really speaking attractions where you're going to be doing a lot of talking to the guests and be on stage, what we call on stage a lot. If you did not get it, you were constantly threatened with having to go over and work the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids play set. That was kind of like a penalty. If you were ever out of line or, weren't following your script or couldn't pick up the script or, you were just not doing well, they would always threaten us to ship us over to the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playset because no one wanted to work over there because you were kind of just standing around and cleaning up after children all day, and you had crazy kids running around all day. And if you're a people person, that's a cool position because you do get to interact with a lot of guests and things. Unfortunately, you do get a lot of protein spills back in the day over at the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids play area. The go-to attraction that everyone wanted, if you were on shuttles, everybody wanted to do the Great Movie Ride. I would have loved to be a gangster at the Great Movie Ride. I never had the opportunity. And then the other one, a lot of people get promoted. They used to because my attraction's not there anymore. A lot of people used to get promoted from shuttles to go over to do the Jungle Cruise. That is like the attraction that you want to be. If you're going to be in a speaking role, everybody wants the Jungle Cruise. I would have loved to be a skipper on the Jungle Cruise because that is the one attraction where you actually get to improvise a little bit more now than you ever were before. But yeah, a little insider tip there. If you've ever taken a tour, if you have the ability to take the tour of some of the backlot areas of some of the park, it does get quite expensive. It is really cool to see, especially the underground tunnels under Magic Kingdom. There's a story I could tell, but I probably shouldn't because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get myself in trouble on camera in case anyone ever watches this. But maybe I'll have to look at the legalities of my story. But Amy and I, we totally took advantage of the underground tunnel systems when we were in the park on not an official capacity when we were not working. Anyway, do we have any more questions? Is it still magical to go during non-peak? Heck yeah, it is. Is it still magical to go during non-peak times? Absolutely. If you can go when the park's a little bit slower, which unfortunately these days it doesn't happen as much. Back in the day, oh my gosh, you would totally plan to go January, February, some of the times in November, like early November. The parks were a lot less crowded. I remember, when I worked there, and I'm going to date myself, I worked there back in the 2000s, early 2000s. You got into those early winter seasons, the park was dead. You could literally go into Magic Kingdom during some of those less crowded times and have the park to yourself. It was amazing. The one year I was there was the year the Ravens won the Super Bowl. So that was the 2001. No, wait, that was 99 and 2000 was when I was there. And they had the Super Bowl parade, and there was not like that many people there. The Super Bowl had been in Tampa that year, and a bunch of the Ravens were actually in the Magic Kingdom, and there really wasn't anyone there. It was really cool. Like, I was getting cool pictures of the Ravens hanging out in Magic Kingdom, and there wasn't many people there because it was a non-peak time. And back in the day, people didn't really go as much during the non-peak times. They didn't pull their kids out of school. Now it's a total thing. Everyone pulls their kids out of school, so even if you go during the school year and you pull your kid out of school, fortunately, you're still going to be hitting some of those crowds. So, any other questions?
Yes.
Did I ever get to see the secret room in the castle? I have not, sadly. I would love to see the Cinderella Castle room. I've seen pictures of it. I've seen video of it. I have not ever been to it. That would be pretty awesome, though. So, PJ, is there anything else you want to talk about tonight, dude? Like any other insider tips or tricks?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I guess we should get ready to wrap up then. I guess we've been going a little over an hour. I was interested to see how long tonight would go. Hopefully, we answered everybody's questions. And
this was actually an hour ago. It says it now.
Yeah. It was a good time, though. I enjoyed talking. I can think of I'm probably going to end tonight and think of so many more things that I want to share in future, like live shows. I know I have so many stories to tell. Like, oh my gosh! But then I just feel like I'm boring people. But
Disney's is not magic; is a story.
Disney's magic is a story.
Yeah.
It's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
I know. Disney World, while it's expensive and get crowded, just make memories. There are so many memories that you'll make, and that's what you're going to take home. I mean, you'll remember some of the rides and things, but ultimately it's going to be the time that you spend together and with your family that you're going to remember. It's just like, it's the little things. Like, for me, legitimately, I have vivid memories of the night that on our last trip, my daughter and I, we went solo to the park on our last night, and we just had an amazing time together. And it wasn't about the rides, it was just about the cool little bonding time that we had. We had our little shoulder animals with us, and we were doing photo shoots with them. I remember we shot a piece over in the circus area with the trains and things, which is pretty cool. And yeah, just enjoy the time that you have in the park. Just realize being at a crowded Disney World is 1,000 times better than being at work or being home. I mean, I could sit and just watch people in the parks at my resort, and that's going to be better than being at work. So, yay. Well, I hope you guys got a little bit something out of tonight's show. I definitely had a blast doing it. I'm sorry my wife Amy couldn't join us. Unfortunately, we had like family things that came up. But PJ and I had a blast.
And also, thank you, Ventures with Outdoor Eagle, for sticking with us for the whole entire stream.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The whole hour.
We definitely appreciate you, man. Your last little thing is the meal plan worth it? I don't know. Are they even back to doing the meal plan? I don't even know if they're back to doing the meal. We used to get the meal plan for free, and we used to love the meal plan, but you do waste a lot of your park time eating, which that was one thing we didn't like, because you made all your reservations and it was a ton of food, and you always felt stuffed 24/7 when you were there. And the restaurants are amazing, but it definitely gets to be a bit much when you realize how much time you are spending.
Because you don't want to eat a lot and then go into Tron.
That's right. You're pretty excited for Tron. I'm excited for Tron. I can't wait to get on Tron eventually. Unfortunately, the trip that we're doing this summer, we're actually doing our very first ever Florida non-Disney trip. Nothing against Disney, but we always go to Disney. And
we're probably going to go into Disney Springs or something.
We're totally going to do Disney Springs. We'll probably do a dinner, go to some of the shops and things. Maybe we'll even resort hop one day. But yeah, unfortunately, this will be our first trip. We're doing like a non-Disney trip. We actually are going to be doing a couple days at Universal, SeaWorld, Aquatica, Volcano Bay. It's going to be an awesome trip, but we're going to be seeing a lot of things we don't normally see when we're in Disney World. But anyway, we're going to wrap up tonight. Got some other things we've got to take care of. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you like and subscribe to our channel. PJ and I, we are just so blessed for the growth that our channel has seen over the last couple of weeks. I can't believe that we are...
500?
Yeah, we are almost at 600 subscribers. And I remember it was like in February when we were thanking people for 100 subscribers, which we even thought was crazy.
We thought 13 was crazy.
Yeah. So... I don't know. It's a cool little way to get out our creative little outlet.
600 people out of like 700 billion people
in the world. Well, hey, you got to start somewhere. We can't all be Mr. Beast getting. What's he get? Something like 50,000 subscribers a day.
I think he gets 132 million or something.
Something crazy. Good for you, man.
I knew it's like. Over
I still have my
million.
day job. Creating content and having a full-time job and managing family definitely is difficult, but it's fun. So anyway, if you liked it, subscribe. We'd love to see some of your comments too. Like, let us know what some of your tips and tricks are, and we'll cover those on next live stream. But anyway, PJ and I, we're gonna go play some games. I think we got to play our basketball game tonight, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, peace. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, aloha, everybody.
Good.
Good night.